Good morning and welcome to part 3 of our Learner Rucksack and Knowledge Organiser assembly. I am sure you already have, because you are all amazing at doing this already, but you need to have your mini whiteboard, pen and knowledge organiser out on your desk. Using your mini whiteboard and your knowledge organiser, I'd like you to complete a retrieval exercise. There's a list of knowledge organiser pages on the board that you need to find and write down on your board. You have 90 seconds to do this. Off you go. Okay, let's check our learning. So we should have had history as page 40, and that's information on the Tudors. Then at number 2, we've got science, page 74. French is page 54. The list of self-quizzing techniques can be found at the beginning on page 6. And then for the spaced practice checker, it's around pages 98 to 107. We know that in order to reach our full potential and become the very best learner that we can be, we need to exercise our brains and embed information that we learn in our lessons, taking information from the short-term memory to the long-term memory where we can retrieve it at any point we need it. In order to do this, we need to pack our learner rucksack with the skills that make us self-regulated or more independent in our learning. The skill that we have been focusing on is self-quizzing. So far in our journey to becoming a top learner, you've received your knowledge organiser that contains all the key information that you need to learn for every subject. You have also started to practice some of the self-quizzing techniques which will embed the knowledge that you need into your long-term memory forever. You should feel confident in making flashcards, applying look, cover, check, as well as collaborating with a partner to verbalise your learning. We continue on our pursuit to becoming a fantastic learner today by learning more of the self-quizzing techniques that will support you in embedding knowledge in your long-term memory. First up is the voice memo self-quizzing technique. For this, you'll need to use the voice memo tool on your mobile phone. This icon will look different depending on the make of your phone, but its application will be the same. The idea with this method is that you record questions with a brief pause before the answer follows. Once recorded, you can listen to this and refer back to it at different intervals so that it embeds the knowledge into your memory. The reason we add a pause is so that when you start to practice the question, you can attempt to answer it yourself before it confirms whether you are right or wrong. When you have a bank of these questions, you can play them back on your way to school in the morning or while you are getting ready to go out at the weekend. The great thing about this technique is that you don't need many resources. You need your phone and your knowledge organiser and you are ready to go. On the subject of using your phone as a knowledge embedding tool, you can also gain access to lots of apps that allow you to quiz yourself. Using an app such as Quizlet, you can create your own quizzes that test your knowledge of the information that you want to embed. You can make this part of a collaborative technique by quizzing your friends and family too. The next self-quizzing technique goes back to good old pen and paper. The blurt technique is great for when you've applied some of the other self-quizzing techniques and are starting to really embed the knowledge. You pick a topic that you've been working on and literally blurt everything you know onto the paper. And by blurt, I mean write. This might take 1 minute, it might take 20 minutes, depending on how much you think you know. In order to check how much knowledge you have embedded, when you have finished blurting, you just need to check your blurt against your notes that you know are correct. In your case, you would check this against the information in your knowledge organiser. Next up are flappies. Flappies are like mini flashcards. You need to take a page of A4, fold it in half, and cut the top half into strips. On the top strip, you write the question, and underneath, on the bottom page, you write the answer. Flappies work best for short questions and responses. I have seen flappies used really effectively when learning new words for subjects, like French, for example, learning the days of the week, animal names, or colours. You will find examples of flappy templates at the back of your knowledge organiser. Our final self-quizzing technique is one that will support you in not only embedding knowledge in your long-term memory, but it will also help you to organise your learning and focus on more than one topic or subject. For example, if you have classes Monday, Wednesday and Friday, you might review the information on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, retrospectively for each of those classes. Cover a variety of small topics in your study time. If you do lots of practice on one big subject, you will seem good at it then. But this is only short term and it will be quickly forgotten. Let's look at how you can apply spaced learning to help you in the long term.
Okay, so here we're looking at spaced practice or spaced learning, and we use this as a way of recapping topics from the previous weeks or month. And you'll find one of these templates in the back of your knowledge organisers. So, how have I put this together? Well, this is an example of one that I use across different subjects, and I would build this up over a month. And you can see here, I've started this week just to pick the topics which I've found the most tricky to remember as I self-quiz. Look, there's that tricky history topic again that I hadn't quite grasped last time. So what I do is each week, at the end of each week, I would pick out the most tricky topics and fill in my spaced practice checker. At the end of the month, I'll then go back and quiz myself on these topics to see what I've remembered. That's one way of completing it. What you can also do is create a subject-specific one. So this one is for geography. And again, at the end of each week, I've picked out 2 topics, could be 3 topics, that I would like to recap again at the end of the month. I complete it, that's week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So you can see I've got topics that I looked at a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and actually 4 weeks ago that I'm going back over to self-quiz and to try and make that knowledge stick. Really, this is a way of organising your own learning to help you build the knowledge of a subject expert.
We have now covered all of the self-quizzing techniques that you can use to move information into your long-term memory that will stay there forever. Your teachers will set you remote learning that will require you to use one of the self-quizzing techniques that you find most effective. Remember, your knowledge organiser contains the key information that will support you in your learning long term. It is this information that you need to embed. Don't wait for your teachers to tell you when to do this. Just go for it. Start spacing your learning and applying which self-quizzing techniques you could use and which ones work best for you for each subject. You have been back in school for 9 weeks. By the time we break up for Christmas, you'll have completed another 6 weeks. You can start to organise your spaced learning from this week. I will be visiting your lessons as usual, checking that you have your knowledge organisers out on the desk and that they're on the right page for the subject for the lesson that you're in. I will also be having a look at the back of your knowledge organisers to see if you are using the space to do some self-quizzing. This week, I would like you to use one of the new strategies that we've explained and modelled today. You should try one of the strategies that require a device for when you are at home completing your remote learning tasks. In the meantime, I would suggest that you try out the flappies technique for the remaining time of this session. You have some templates for these at the back of your knowledge organiser and they don't require you to use a device. Pick a topic from your knowledge organiser now and have fun creating some flappies.